Hey traders, investors, crypto nerds, fans of digital assets from around the world. How's everyone doing? It's Jeremy Alexander Newsom with the IR4 podcast, and we're looking at Bitcoin hanging out today. So I got two interesting trends right now on Bitcoin from my perspective. Got this little purple trend line here and got this red trend line. And again, I still don't think anything's going to be exciting for a while on Bitcoin or just the crypto space. We probably just chug around, chop around, and do a little bit of nothing. Now, the line in the sand for Bitcoin on most cryptos is this March 18th candle. As I mentioned, if we take out that candle in any near-term future, we will very likely go down to 6,000. And that will be a pretty nice little flush for sure. Now, once it gets down there, we should pause, and it likely would bounce, and we trade up to here. The question would obviously become, do we break lower or do we break higher? And if we did break lower, the only other thing that would hold us up is the 100 simple on a weekly for a while. So that's just, my thoughts. We're going to see what's going to happen. I like the little lower shadow coming in today. That's kind of nice at a decent little location. But again, we're probably going to chop around here, do some pretty boring things, and it's going to be relatively non-exciting for a bit, more than likely. Ethereum is just getting absolutely wrecked. Ethereum taking out a massive support at 560, and likely is heading down to the mid threes down here, where this purple line, this is really on a weekly trend. And this is also the previous all-time high area, which we really could trade, if I take this line and put it right about there, we could trade down to the mid threes pretty easily. So this is the old resistance, new support. We trade down to that price, and then we get to see if we chop around and break lower from there. We break lower from there, you're going to see some cheap Ethereum. And if we break higher than there, fantastic. What's going to be interesting also is just to find out exactly how this space looks and, going forward in the future, if the volatility remains or dissipates. I'm really excited to find out and determine that, just over time. What I mean by that is, let's say, Ethereum and crypto world and everything goes back down to $13 per coin. I mean, it's just some infinitesimally small number, but trades, 13 to $100 every few months or something. I mean, that would still be insane volatility, and that could still be tradable. So the question just becomes, does the volatility stay, or does it become more like a stock where it trades, from $40 up to $50 in the course of a month, and then maybe back down to 40, and then maybe back down to 50, which again can still be traded. It's just going to be the question of how exciting, how much momentum, how much speed does this market still have left in it. And the only way we figure that out is, we continually research it, trade it, keep our eyes peeled, see what it does, see how it happens, all that good stuff. Had a request for Ripple. So here's Ripple USD, and Ripple getting wrecked. Still breaking lower. Doesn't look good. Again, the March 18th candle, this is the last gasping breath of fresh air for Ripple. We take out that low, and 37 cents is just the first stop. And we probably go back to the 20s. The ironic part is, again, if you bought Ripple way the heck up here, and you missed that boat a little bit, apologies all around. What you going to do? But the good news is, if it comes back down to this area, this is a price where almost anyone would have done just about anything to gotten back in December. Now we're going to be back down at that price. This is just pure Dow theory. This is just Dow theory 101. You have this accumulation phase where everyone's talking about Ripple, but no one's really caring about it, no one's really doing anything with it. Then you have this public participation breakout where everyone is a genius and everyone knows Ripple and everyone thinks it's the greatest thing in the world. And then you have kind of this distribution phase where the smart money sells and the not smart money buys. And then we now have a bearish public participation phase on Ripple where just everyone's slowly selling and getting annoyed and getting bored and getting irrelevant, and it's just it is what it is, as they say in the South, and it's just not very exciting. So how long will this movement last? Of course, I'm not entirely sure. A lot of news that's going to have to help the crypto space right now is going to be a lot of the SEC regulatory bodies coming out with a lot of stamps of approval, a lot of new development and new real productions and technology and improvements in blockchains, and actually some solid just leadership from some of the main guys, where they come out and they make some moves and make some determinations on what's going to happen and why and where. So here is EOS US dollar, and it's getting a little bit of some buying today. So it had some good pullbacks. Really, it's easier to see on another exchange. If I go to EOS USD, hop over here to Bitfinex, you can see it just trading down to the 200, getting some buying off of that space with some pretty decent volume. Now, here is EOS XBT on Kraken, and it's up 7% at 76.75. So it looks pretty nice, some good support. I would love it back down at 50, but it hasn't quite gotten down there yet. And again, if this thing does break out and breaks above this level right here, I mean, that's going to be a really strong, very strong move in my opinion. I mean, these lows right here are almost the tweezer bottom. So we break out of that on EOS XBT, and that should be decently strong. But again, this is just the buying EOS with Bitcoin is what this is, and it's been a really profitable move. I snagged some here and sold some at the 100. So, and this was actually just a limit buy. I bought some here, I bought some here, and I was going to buy a lot more at the 200. Just didn't quite get there. But anyway, EOS XBT hanging out, doing its thing. Here's Stellar XLM XBT, also on Kraken. A little weak into this area. I would love it off the 200. Haven't quite gotten there yet, so we'll just see if we slowly keep chopping around or what ends up happening. But I'm trying to see Litecoin LTC USD over here on Coinbase, trading back down to the 200, where again we have bounced. So this is the good news is this particular review is going to be pretty critical timing. Between now and next week, who knows what's going to change, but this is a very crucial spot where we are at, pretty much at these March 18 lows. Either we bounce in the next 24 to 48 hours, or we're going to get shredded like mozzarella cheese, and we're going to see some decent further lows in most of these coins, and that's when people really start freaking out. Capitulation really begins, and again, smart money is trying to figure out timing and trying to figure out the bottom of where they want to start really adding some institutional money into some of this stuff. Or at least that's my opinion. Anyway, folks, hopefully this was helpful. Thanks so much for tuning in to the IR4 podcast here on YouTube. Make sure to hit that beautiful red subscribe button down there. And let's also make sure to keep creating some brainwaves. Really great interview for the patrons on the IR4 podcast coming up Thursday. I'm going to see you guys later. And until then, love, life, live life, and trade. Bye.